Hallo und willkommen. Welcome to Aidan Eyewitness. This is a new version of my Dublin Bridges video from 2018, now with Google Earth imagery and a new script. Dublin is the first city I visited as a child, and it's where I studied German. I'm a language teacher, so I couldn't resist including a few words of German and a few words of Irish as well. I've tried to spice up the dry, factual information with a bit of humour, including references to pop stars. To keep to the standard length, I speak quickly, so if you're finding it difficult to follow, maybe you're a learner of English as a foreign language, or maybe there's background noise where you are, you can switch on the subtitles and download the PDF script. For more information, I recommend www.bridgesofdublin.ie, a project of Dublin City Council. So, what hidden messages can Dublin's bridges tell us? Does the statue by O'Connell Bridge look a bit like Terry Wogan? And what's all that about Johnny Rotten Bridge?
A bridge, eine Brücke in German, is a thing that spans a river or other hindrance, and helps pedestrians, traffic, sometimes boats, or even water, to get from one side to the other. But the bridges in Dublin are more than that. Unlike the London bridges, most have been renamed since Ireland became independent. They reveal telling facts about Ireland, its history and identity that most visitors overlook. So let's not be like most visitors. Let's not just stumble from pub to pub in the Temple Bar district, though that can be fun. Let's open our eyes, take a few steps down to the river and, as I like to say, look, explore and capture. The River LIffey defines Dublin and is crossed by a series of bridges, just like the River Vltava in Prague. It rises in the Wicklow Mountains and wends its way 132 kilometres to the sea. Our first bridge is 5 miles or 8 kilometres west of Dublin city centre, the Westlink Bridge. Just a standard motorway bridge like any other, you might think, but this one was a long time coming. Actually, it's 2 bridges. The first appeared in 1990, the second in 2003. The joys of the Autobahn came late to the Republic of Ireland. Its first true motorway opened in 1983, around 60 years after Germany, 25 years after the UK. The next bridge is Farmleigh Bridge, a very English-sounding name. It's thought to have been built by the Guinness family to carry water across the river. It's now disused. There was a walkway, but the decking has long since gone. In the village of Chapelizod, there's a stone bridge built in 1753. In 2011, it was named the Livia Bridge, recalling a character in a novel by James Joyce. And there's another telling fact. Dublin is a city of famous writers, 3 of whom have bridges named after them. Who are the other 2? It was widened with pedestrian walkways, another sign of changing times, the rise of the motor car. This is Island Bridge, originally named Sara's Bridge after Sara Fane, wife of the Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, a member of the ruling aristocracy, or Protestant ascendancy, with origins in England. But something struck me. The English name, Fane, sounds like Sinn Féin, the nationalist party founded in 1905. Was her name a portent of the future, or was it just a coincidence? King's Bridge was opened in 1828 and was named after the controversial King George IV, whose mother was born in Germany. The nearby station was also called King's Bridge. In 1922 it became Sarsfield Bridge, and in 1941 both bridge and station were renamed after Sean Heuston, a leader of the 1916 uprising. Confusing? Definitely. My dad never stopped calling them both King's Bridge. A bridge named after a dissolute British king, renamed twice after nationalist heroes, commemorated in Irish on a plaque with full Irish script. This historical tension, this transition from colonialism to nationalism, is part of the Irish identity. But isn't there another famous Irish hero called, is it Heuston? No, it's actually Paul Hewson, alias Bono. Maybe he should have a bridge named after him. Today, this early 19th century bridge is reserved for early 21st century trams and pedestrians. Dublin's tram system is called Luas. Some years later, Frank Sherwin Bridge was built. So who was Frank Sherwin? Country music star? Hero of the independence movement? No, he was a Dublin independent TD, i.e. member of the Irish Parliament. We'll stop in a small park to view the statue of Livia, the personification of the River LIffey. The popularly named Floozy in the Jacuzzi was created by Eamon O'Doherty and was moved here from O'Connell Street to make way for the spire. Rory O'More Bridge is located near the Guinness Brewery. The present cast iron bridge was opened in 1859 and was made in St Helens near Liverpool. There's another hidden clue. At that time, Ireland was economically integrated with Britain, unlike today. So who was Rory O'More? A rock guitarist? No, that was Rory Gallagher. Rory O'More was an organiser of the Irish Rebellion of 1641. And there, another key to the Irish identity. The past in Ireland is, allgegenwärtig. It's everywhere in the present. Our next bridge is named after Ireland's most famous writer, James Joyce. The bridge was designed by Santiago Calatrava and opened in 2003. But I feel its high-tech, overcomplex design has no connection at all with the era of James Joyce and clashes with its surroundings. That's him in the picture on the house where his short story, The Dead, was set. Turning left and looking east along this section of the river, the view reminds me of the old Ireland, a place caught in a time warp, bearing a heavy mantle of the past, remembered in sepia tones with fondness and bitterness. This is a digital photo, sepia done in Photoshop. Now it's Mellows Bridge, Dublin's oldest surviving bridge, built in 1768, a powerful relic of a distant age. Who's that singer from Manchester, called Liam, with Irish parents? No, not that Liam, Liam Gallagher. This Liam, Liam Mellows, took part in the Easter Uprising of 1916, but he was born and spent part of his childhood in Ashton-under-Lyne, near Manchester. By the way, these photographs capture the quays before the port tunnel, at a time when they were clogged with HGVs. Father Mathew Bridge was built in 1816 and is on the site of the oldest bridge in Dublin, Dublin Bridge, dating from 1014. In 1938, it was named after Father Mathew, Catholic priest and teetotalist reformer. So there's three hidden messages in one. Dublin has ancient origins, Ireland has a strong Catholic identity, as well as a problem with alcohol. The former Richmond Bridge was renamed in 1923 O'Donovan Rossa Bridge. Sounds like an ancient warrior, or maybe a traditional musician. But he was a leader who campaigned for Irish independence. You can never really get away from that issue here. Intriguingly, the illuminated keystone head is eroded. Our next bridge has three names. Grattan Bridge is its official name, Capel Street Bridge its popular name, Essex Bridge its original name. Very English, reminds me of the singer David Essex, but the name comes from the first Earl of Essex, Arthur Capel, from Watford near London, Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, 1631 to 1683. Are you taking all of this in? There's going to be a test at the end. Only kidding. Henry Grattan was an Irish politician and lawyer. This was once the last bridge before the sea. Can you visualise the river in 1780 full of tall sailing ships? Then, in the 19th century, more bridges were built and the centre shifted downstream. I love the ornate seahorses and lanterns, another symbol of Dublin. The Millennium Bridge is symbolic of changing times, a bridge only for pedestrians. It is, to use the German word, barrierefrei. It's free of barriers, a much better word than English accessible, unlike its venerable but for the disabled inaccessible neighbour, the Halfpenny Bridge. The Millennium Bridge was designed and built in Ireland and opened in 1999. The Halfpenny Bridge remains the best loved, most celebrated, most photographed and most crossed bridge in Dublin. I've walked across it many times. There was a toll of half a penny, hence the name. My mother remembers it as the Penny Halfpenny Bridge, showing 19th century inflation. It was named after a British military hero who was born in Dublin, the Duke of Wellington. Renovated in 2001. But I think the lighting is too bright. They should ideally go back to oil lamps, as used, I think, when it opened in 1816, or get some imitation ones from IKEA. Our next bridge is named after a towering figure of 19th century Irish politics, Daniel O'Connell. Formerly Carlisle Bridge, it's said to be a perfect square, but in fact it's 45 by 50 metres. That's 148 by 164 feet. The Keystone Head, a woman, looks almost new. She symbolises the River LIffey. The statue of Daniel O'Connell watches over the bridge. Is there a resemblance with another towering Irish personality, Terry Wogan? My mother's maiden name is O'Connell, so I'll dedicate it unofficially to her. These are my parents on O'Connell Street, around 1954. Next, another new bridge from 2014. But sorry, Autos sind verboten. Cars are not allowed. It carries Lewis trams across the river. It's named after Rosie Hackett. Now that reminds me of Steve Hackett, lead guitarist of Genesis. But this was Rosie Hackett, trade union leader, the only bridge named after a woman, apart from Sara's bridge. Butt Bridge sounds vaguely rude to modern ears. It was named after Isaac Butt, lawyer and politician. It has a separate Irish name, Drahad na Córála, recalling the Roman Catholic Eucharistic Congress, a major international event held in 1932. The Loop Line Bridge can be seen as an early example of bad planning. It carries the North-South Railway line across the river, but blocks the view of the magnificent Custom House. It was built in 1891. Alternative routes have been proposed, but have never materialised. There are great views from trains crossing the bridge. The Talbot Memorial Bridge dates from 1978. I remember it being built. Drahad is the Irish word for bridge. It's named after Matt Talbot, an Irish ascetic revered by many Catholics for his piety, charity and mortification of the flesh. That's taken from Wikipedia. He moved from alcoholism to teetotalism and extreme religious devotion. There are not many like him around today. Now we reach the bridge named after our second Irish writer, Sean O'Casey, another pedestrian-only bridge. It was opened in 2005. For me, the design doesn't bring to mind the era of Sean O'Casey, but then how could it? It has a similarity to London's Millennium Bridge. So perhaps London could follow Dublin's lead and rename some of its bridges after influential cultural figures, maybe London musicians of Irish descent. How about Johnny Rotten Bridge, or possibly Boy George Bridge? Okay, let's continue on to my favourite modern bridge, Samuel Beckett Bridge, designed by Santiago Calatrava, built in Holland and floated into place, eingeschwommen, in 2009. It's similar to a harp and so has become a national symbol. Irish writer Samuel Beckett, who like me went to TCD, lived in Paris and wrote in both French and English. Finally, we reach the Eastlink Bridge, opened in 1983, later renamed after Thomas Clark, a leader of the 1916 Rising. You can see this bridge in U2's Pride in the Name of Love video, along with the iconic Poolbeg chimneys. The next bridge due east of here is the Britannia Bridge in North Wales, which carries the A55, Dublin's eastern approach road, across the Menai Straits and on to the M53 for Liverpool and the M56 for Manchester. So I hope you enjoyed this tour along the river in the great city of Dublin. Every person on the island of Great Britain, resident or visitor, needs to visit Dublin, and I'll explain why in another video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell button for notifications, as I don't have a fixed upload schedule. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, many thanks for watching, auf Wiedersehen, see you again soon, or as they say, Slán.